When I'm working in the hospital, I get a lot of equipment that comes across my desk that I've never seen before, and that's okay. You're not expected to know everything. Technology is always changing. The main thing is, do you know where to go to get the information so that you can learn that piece of equipment, get the PM schedule set up, and then also turn it over to the user as well. The purpose of this video is to show you my approach to how I handle these situations. Now, one of the first things that I'm going to do is when I get a box that comes into the shop with a new piece of equipment, the first thing I look for is a service manual. And unfortunately, in today's times, that doesn't always occur. So they're going to send a disk or a jump drive. And in some occasions, it's a little scan that puts you to a website where you can download documents. There is the rare occasion where they will not give you any information unless you have been trained on that piece of equipment. And there's just nothing you can do about it unless you bring it up to your manager and let them know that if nobody else is in the shop that has been trained on this equipment, that you yourself may need to be trained up so that you can get the proper procedures and the manuals to be able to service this piece of equipment. Another option, when that does occur, is make sure that there's not a service agreement already set up with that manufacturer. And if there is one, you need to know what the frequency is for being able to get that piece of equipment either sent off to that service provider so that they can PM the equipment, or they need to be scheduled out. Now, my second approach is we have a program that my company uses, and it's called OneSource, and it has been really great so far. So I just go in, I'm going to put in my model number, my manufacturer, and it's been really reliable so far and giving me the manuals that I need for that device. There is, in some instances, where it'll actually show you what the frequency of the PM should be on that device. My next approach for me is, if I'm working on something, I like to know not just the technical side of things, but a little bit about how it might be applied to the patient. So there's a lot of physicians, a lot of nurses that have produced these videos on YouTube, and you can use that as a great resource to learn how they're using it. And for me, it completes the whole process. So it makes it easier for me to troubleshoot. A third option is going to be my coworkers. I try to rely on them last, just because if I do something myself, it tends to stick with me. If I'm relying on others, not so much. But there's the occasion where you have to. So I have a good set of coworkers, and they've been doing this longer than I have. They're more familiar with certain pieces of equipment. I'm not afraid to go ask for help, and you should not be either. And if somebody's given you a little guff about it, maybe it's because they don't know that piece of equipment and there's a little bit of insecurity there. So don't worry, call tech support. That's another option. And I've had some really great luck so far. I'm just honest with them. I tell them, hey, I don't know this piece of equipment. I've read through the manual. Don't expect to get help if you're not going to apply yourself as well. So make sure you at least try to read the manual, be familiar with some of that information so that when you do call them, you can get an idea for what at least they're talking about. So yeah, that's really all I do to handle these situations. And the main thing is don't panic. You've got this. Just know that you're not going to know everything. It's just impossible to know everything, but know where to go. You got this.